Hey, guess what? Jet Camp is about to start, and our starting tight end is out for a quarter of the season. It's not the worst start to a season for the Jets ever. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to JetsHQ. I'm Howie. It's good to be back with you. I've been trying to avoid doing this video. Anytime you hear news about your team, generally between the end of free agency signing period and the start of camp, it's usually bad news. And that's the case again with the Jets. When we're going to talk about Chris Herndon and the suspension. Now, of course, the suspension wasn't a surprise. We did know for a long time that this was coming. It's just a little bit longer than we expected because instead of 2 games, he got 4 games, which really, really hurts our growth since he's a young tight end that was developing along with Sam Darnold, and our offense was obviously going to be focusing more on him in moving the ball down the field. And losing him for 4 games is a quarter of the season as opposed to just 2 games, which would have been, something we could suffer through. And it's obviously difficult when, of course, you know that it was a DUI that he got. It's a guaranteed automatic suspension for a minimum of 2 games. And then when someone claimed to be hurt, that increases the suspension. There's really not much that you can do about it. There's not much you can appeal. It's just an unfortunate situation. Of course, as with the NFL, all things being equal, you've got, the asshole of the year, well, actually the asshole of the decade award going to a guy named Richie Incognito, a guy who basically forced somebody into quitting and committing suicide through bullying, and then, go ahead and now he's just got a two game suspension for his latest infraction. But Chris Herndon gets 4. Of course, you also have somebody like Tyreek Hill who abused his child and his girlfriend/wife, and released today. Doesn't get any suspension at all. It's just the Jets aren't being targeted. People were just unlucky. The stuff that our guys do sometimes, it's just getting penalized. But in this case, we're just going to have to suck it up. It's not the end of the world. The Jets have lived many years without ever throwing the ball to the tight end. Why should this be any different? It was something that we were looking forward to, actually seeing the tight end position come to life, see a guy develop and turn into a star who, Chris Herndon obviously is going to be. So it's sad. Now, the situation that it puts us in is obviously one where if it was a 2-game suspension, we would only have to just basically deal with it with what we've got. But since it's a 4-game suspension, we're going to have to go ahead and find a replacement for a quarter of the season. That leaves you with 2 options. The options are picking up somebody in free agency right now, and there's really very little. You've got Austin Seferian-Jenkins. We're not going back for that. You've got Antonio Gase, who's, I think, celebrating his 78th birthday today. And you've got Jermaine Gresham. Okay, so you can see what's available to us on the free agent market isn't very much. And then the other side of the coin would be to pick up somebody who's cut during camp. Now, that's painful in many ways. One, you don't know who's going to be cut. You don't know why they're going to be cut. And 2, when you do pick them up, they're only going to have a very short period of time to pick up the offense and what's required of them. And the position that we're trying to replace is somebody who's a starting receiving tight end. It's not like a backup player. We need somebody to step right in and fill that role. So that leaves us with our draft pick, Wesco, who is not a receiving tight end. No matter what any of you out there think, he's not going to turn into a receiving tight end overnight. He's just, he shouldn't even have been really drafted where he was. He's a great blocking tight end. He's going to lay his body on the line, but the kid doesn't have the skill to fill the position that Chris Herndon is vacating. And then, of course, you've got Tomlinson, who's, if he could do it, we wouldn't, have other people who've been doing it and him sitting on the bench. So we're in a really, really tight bind there with tight end, and we might just have to, figure something else out. Now, I mean, I understand that a lot of people have been talking about, Anunwa filling in at that tight end position. He's not a tight end. I know that he's been a good slot man and that we have Crowder now, but Anunwa is not a tight end, so it's not his position. It would be very awkward and unusual. We can scheme some things to the wide receiver that we would normally scheme to the tight end, but he's not going to stand on the end of the line and play tight end and block half the time. It's just not going to happen for Anunwa. So if any of you think that that was what was going to happen, it's probably not. We'll see in camp, but I can't imagine turning a guy into a new position rather than picking somebody up and protecting the position for 4 weeks. It's just silly otherwise. Joe Douglas will do the right thing. It's nice to have him there. I mean, we haven't heard anything. Quiet is nice. You notice that when he got in, he filled the roles of his staff quietly and calmly, and we haven't heard a thing except for the Herndon suspension, which we knew was coming. There's nothing that Joe Douglas could do to muffle that. But it's been really nice and quiet, which means that things are working behind the scenes and not getting out of control, and there's no fighting, there's no infighting, there's no issues, there's no drama, and it's good. Now we're going to get into camp, and hopefully that'll stay that way. It's looking still good, guys. I don't want anybody to start panicking just because Chris Herndon isn't going to be playing, but it's a hole, and we're going to have to fill it. Now, does that mean we're not going to go to the Super Bowl this year? Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think we were going to anyway, so I don't think it's going to change too much of the outcome. It might strain that ability for us to make a wild card spot or division win, and it might cost us a game or two. I'm not sure. We'll have to see, but I'm hoping it does, and I hope that the Jets fill the position and we get a little lucky, which is rare for the Jets, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we are going into camp now, and we are going to begin the process. So I'm looking forward to that. I know that everybody out there is looking forward to it, and I just wanted to make a quick video to catch everybody up and say, hey, here we go, we're ready to start with camp. The quiet time is over. That month of no videos, no news, is good news, is over. So we're back here at JetsHQ. We're going to be back with the Jets, going to camp, checking everybody out, bringing you guys as much news and information as possible. And I really want to thank you guys for hanging in there and, sticking around and, just getting excited about the Jets' new season. Also, I wanted to show a picture. I've got this picture from a fan. It's from Jet Wife Life. Now, hey, any of you out there that have a wife who's good enough to send in pictures to the Jets bloggers out there and support you guys are really lucky. So Jet Wife Life, thank you for the picture. It's wonderful to have you as a subscriber, and I'm really proud that you're out there as a Jet fan, so wish there were more like you. Also wanted to thank everybody who's supporting the channel. I wanted to give a shout out to Jiggly Jeff, Bob Eldred, and Jonah Samuels. Thank you guys for your contributions to the site. It helps make everything move and run and pay for things. I really appreciate it. So anyway, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so that we can get you notified when the next video is going to be coming out. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again, and we'll be back with all kinds of camp news. So thank you guys very much, and remember, let's go Jets.